Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jill Gluck, and this is our first live event today at Modern Minds, and we'd like to welcome you. We do have a question for people that are joining just to get things going, and we wanted to just ask people, you know, there it is. What is the one word that describes how future ready your HR team is? You don't have to put it in chat or anything. We just wanted to get you in the mindset of, thinking through exactly, what brought you here. Do you feel that your team is ready for the future? There's a lot of things going on in the age of AI, and we wanted to sort of let you reflect, think that through a little bit, and start out with that in the mindset. Um, I'll introduce myself while you're thinking about that and what has brought you and what's engaging you to join us today. I've been in ed tech for over 3 decades now. I've been leading, implementing, and really enjoying that space. But something really did occur to me that was giving me a nudge that I had to do something with all this information that I had. And that is really what has brought this to life. I wanted to found Modern Minds, which is a learning and talent consultancy. And with that, we want to help organizations and teams really to go deep within themselves and bring some of the information that we have with the top 12 for 12 skills that Gina Genero has brought to the table today. So we are going to be moving along, and I'm not sure if we're going to move on to the slide yet, Sue, but we can do that now. I can introduce our 2 speakers. We have there's my slide. Gotta like the live. We're getting used to doing things live here at Modern Minds. This is actually our first live event, and we will be hosting monthly events. So we can move on to the next slide. Next. And here we are. So these are our guest speakers, and we have about 45 minutes. What we're planning to do is walk you through how this program came to life and give you a little backstory on how it all came to life. I've been having the pleasure of working with Gina Genero, who is the Chief Skills and Innovation Officer and the co-founder at Atheon, and also Jessica Jordan Munn, who's our learning strategist at Modern Minds, and she's also a transformation coach. So it all ties together. Gina, she has over 30 years of experience. She was the Chief Learning Officer at BMO, and what really genuinely sets her apart is that she really does walk the talk. She learns daily, and she really moves the dial in the space of the future of work, skills, and everything to do with what we're going to show you today. We have, we've worked together, Gina and I, back in the financial industry when I was implementing a learning platform, and we've traveled, and I've been watching her speak, and she truly gave me goosebumps when I was always sitting in the front row. And what I came across was her top 12 for 12 framework. I thought to myself, well, instead of just allowing her to present it and share it in the way she does, that I would bring it to life with all of the information and experience that I'd had over my career. I worked at Skillsoft, and I'd been a consumer of Skillsoft, and I also now am a Skillsoft authorized reseller, and in the Canadian, and working out of Toronto, so I'm proudly Canadian, and we put that all together and curated this program. What it has is, brought things to life. We're helping organizations, teams, and leaders really, be able to align their upskilling against what Jean is going to share today, which is the 12 skills. So we've based this program, brought it to life on this world-class platform. And we had a pilot program, which we also had experts participate in for about 2 months. And Jessica has brought this to life with her Inside Edge, working at Skillsoft as well. And we've put together this incredible community-based learning transformation for HR. So if you're wanting to get demystified about the skills you require in this, disrupted AI era, that is what this will bring. It really truly does have an amazing design with the foundation of the framework, and also that we've brought it to life in a social community. So I will also add that I don't want to miss anything here. Jessica has been working on my team for about a year. She's curated with her expertise. Again, she's a transformation coach, so she will be leading and kicking off our cohorts. So we've really weaved into the program exactly how things should flow over 12 months on an amazing platform, Percipio. So I think what I'll do now is hand it over to Gina. We will be going through the solutions, and then I'll hand it over to Gina, and then Jessica's going to dive us in and take us on a little tour of the actual program in the platform. And then after that, we'll have a little time for some Q&A, okay? So because we're a new company and because this is our first Future Ready Skills flagship program, I just wanted to cover off, because people always are asking me, what else do you do over there? Because we've become a very busy and small and mighty team that's continuously growing. We offer e-learning solutions. So what we've done is we've put our expertise within the products and curated them with our expertise with Percipio knowledge. And we've also, because I've been sitting in your shoes in an HR corporate role, I know exactly how it feels and how daunting that can be when you're actually trying to source content and implement it, go through the red tape that's required when you're in an organization to get through procurement and security and all of those things. So what we've done is we put together some turnkey solutions in our e-learning kits for enterprises. And then we've also got things, if you're not quite ready for a whole e-learning solution, then you can also have access to specific skill building and targeted collections that we have for you as well. So we've got e-learning. We do blended learning design with our partners at the Talent Company. So we have multiple learning modalities. We can use their expertise in their leadership, in their classroom training, in their coaching, transitional services, and career. And we've brought some programs to life when we can weave in with all of the one-on-one coaching. We have in class, we have our digital learning, which really helps to extend the learning. So there's lots of opportunity there to design a custom program for yourselves, and that's become quite popular. And then we have our AI solutions. We have been working with Atheon, which is Gina's organization, which is also just starting up, and that's truly exciting. They have Tal Goldhammer, who's one of our expert AI facilitators. He's got 30 years of experience in the space and over at Ernst & Young. So we have a keynote speaking option. We have an AI Academy. We have one-on-one coaching, and we also have a little fast track for AI if you just want to take a little look in our digital learning platform. So last but not least, we have the Future Ready Skills. And like I said, this is our first flagship program, which we've targeted for HR professionals utilizing Gina's top 12 for 12 framework. So without anything else to talk about, but I want to introduce you to Gina, who is here today to share with you why and how we've used these skills that she's put in her framework within this program. So over to you, Gina.
Thanks so much, Jill. And I'm so excited to be here today to talk to all of you about skills and the future of work. You know, we are at such a critical time. I would call it a skills imperative, where we're really seeing such dramatic change across the industry. In fact, there's this great quote that I heard a couple of years ago that said, "The pace of change will never be as slow as it is today." And I think it's even more true now. So as we think about the landscape, the reason that I started focusing on what are the big skills to help people get ready for the next 5, 10, or 15 years, we are in the place where we'll have 85 million gaps, skilled workers, skilled seats that are sitting open by 2030 because there are not enough people with the skills required to do the work. That's having an $11.5 trillion impact to global GDP. And we have companies that are struggling in every sector, in every country around the world, trying to keep pace with the changes that are happening. Not only is technology advancing so fast, but we have changes to expectations, demographics, the view of the economic impact of what's happening in every single country around the world and collectively. And so this is the time. I really believe that skills are what will unlock opportunity, and skills are becoming the currency of the future. And so, back when I was a chief learning officer and I was one of the founding members of the World Economic Forum Skills Link Alliance, thought a lot about skills and what we can do to actually equip and enable both organizations and individuals. And so the work we're doing at Atheon is very connected to that. It's all about skills as an anchor and a transformational opportunity. And so I'll walk through the 12 skills that I've identified as being critical over the next 12 years uh, to give you a bit of a sense of how that fits. I've done a lot of work over the last few years and into the work at Atheon around developing a skills taxonomy and proficiency model. I don't say that to nerd out on the skills space, but it's really about being able to provide a clear view of what do we mean by skills? What's the definition of them? Because there's so many labels floating around in every organization and every platform, but many of them are not defined. So being able to provide some degree of certainty and being able to understand what those skills look like at each level of proficiency from just starting out into mastery. So that provides a really good structure to be able to value people's skills, to be able to create a view of the ROI of skills for organizations and the value for an individual in terms of the depth and breadth of their skills. So with all of that as a bit of a backdrop, I wanted to just flag that 70% of skills are going to be changing between now and 2030. So this is a call to action for all of us. And that stat is actually from LinkedIn. World Economic Forum came out earlier this year with a 40%, but I think the 70% is probably what we should keep in our minds. Because if we are finding that our own skills are changing so rapidly and so dramatically, this is the time for us to take action and start to build the skills that will matter for the future. So if you could go on to the next slide, please. So this is the 12 for 12 skills model. And I know it's a little bit of an eye chart as we're going through the live stream today, but let me walk you through it. The way that I see skills moving forward is really in three key buckets. We have the technical and digital skills, which help us keep pace with technological change and help us have good grounding around business and financial acumen. The human or power skills on the right, those are the things that really separate us from technology. It's about being inherently human. It's about equipping and enabling ourselves to flourish, which is where every part of our life is good in the way that we choose to define it. And these types of skills that underpin that are things like empathy, adaptability, resilience, communication, collaboration, and leadership. These are the things that are really differentiating from AI. So as people worry about, how do I make sure that my job is not displaced by technology? It's these human skills that will set you apart. Your job will evolve, your opportunities will change, but the important thing is for you to take control of that so you can open your own doors to opportunity. And then higher cognitive skills. These are the ways that you solve complex situations, complex problems. These are the things like critical thinking, creativity, innovation, and problem solving. And here's the thing. problems that are in front of us today are ones that we may never have seen before. These are brand new. So the ability to actually solve the problems is going to be critical. And as we use artificial intelligence and other technology, things like critical thinking are really important because they enable us to determine whether the things that we're seeing from AI, is it right? Is it ethical? Is it biased? Can we rely on it? And so as we start to see these skills across these three buckets, whether it be the technical and digital skills, the AI fluency, data and decision intelligence, et cetera, from a real technical space, whether it's those human skills that really set you up for success and help you connect with others, or whether it's the higher cognitive to solve problems. There are so many of these skills that are actually connected to the advances in AI and helping you show up and lift up and really be able to set the stage for the future. So I think what's really important to take away from this is to focus on how do each of these skills, the top 12 for 12, how do each of them set you up for success for the future? Where are you today against each of the 12? And as you build your skills, how is that moving the dial and opening up opportunity for you as you use the skills together? So all of them are important on their own, but as they come together, that's where you really see the power. So many people will talk about AI, for example, as a standalone skill set. But as you see here, all of the blue skills are the ones that really come together to help you have the greatest success with navigating the AI landscape. I wanted to share a couple of quick facts with you just to be able to round out the picture. There are so many roles that are actually having AI come to the forefront, and AI exposed roles, ones that are really, the AI is critical to be able to be successful in those roles. 66% of them require faster skill building than what the rest of us are facing. We're seeing that almost 2/3 of the skill gaps that people are facing right now, that's brought on by technology, but not solely connected to technology, those skill gaps are the single biggest impact to business growth. And we're seeing that the ability to come together, the ability to learn in cohorts, the ability to apply your skills in action in a group, it actually has a 75-to-1 ROI versus e-learning alone. So when Jill was showing that picture of how some of the different types of learning opportunities come together, that ability to not only learn and develop skills, but apply them in action as social learning is going to really set you apart. So through programs like the Future Ready Skills for Modern Minds, it will actually give you a chance to develop that knowledge, the skills, and then really accelerate your impact by applying them in action. So I think this is an exciting time. This is a time for you to grasp onto the opportunity to not only upskill in the job you have, reskill to open doors to other opportunities that are similar, and pre-skill so that you're building the skills you need now for the next 5, 10, 15 years or more. Create those Lego blocks that you can snap together and assemble and reassemble as you're trying to stay on the forefront and be ready for the jobs that haven't even been created yet. And we're seeing a huge shift in the type of jobs, but don't worry about that. Try and break it down into the work that needs to be done, the tasks that will help you do that work, and the skills required. And if you keep building your skills, you will be future ready and future proof. And now, Jill, I'm going to turn it back over to you and Jessica to be able to share more about this great program and what it looks like in action.
Thanks, Gina. So thank you all for being here, first of all. I'm really excited to be able to share this program with you. This has been my baby pretty much since October of last year. So it has been quite the journey. So we're really excited to be able to share all of this good work with you. I have taken all of the experience that I learned. I spent about 10 years working with Skillsoft, and 8 years of that time was in the customer success organization. So I worked with HR professionals and L&D professionals every single day to help them to maximize the efficiency of their learning programs and to be able to maximize the capability for growth and engagement with these programs. And so I've utilized all of those skills and all of those insights to create this program around Gina's 12 for 12 model. So I won't go into all of the specific skills here because Gina just did a really fabulous job explaining all of the skills, but just so that you are aware contextually, this is kind of the same framework that you can expect to see within the actual program itself. So there's different journeys within the program, which we'll go through in greater depth here in a little bit. And they are all going to introduce you one by one to each of the 12 skills in these 3 categories. So what you can expect here in terms of the journey experience is really allowing you to not only sit and take courses or read or, that kind of stuff. It's not your traditional just sitting through coursework constantly. We really wanted this to be impactful, and we wanted to incorporate some additional modalities here that will really help you to maximize the impact, maximize the learning, and maximize what you're going to actually take away so that you reduce your scrap learning rate. So what you're going to see is that in the very beginning of each of the skill tracks, we are going to have an initial pre-assessment. This is going to allow you to establish a baseline of your skill proficiency on that particular subject. So you are able to take a look at what this is going to look like for your current skill level before you dive into any learning. We want to see where you are before you actually learn things within the context of the program. So you're going to start there. That gives you your baseline. Then you'll move into the self-directed learning portion. So the self-directed learning is where all of the content lives. So you'll go through the journey, you'll take all of the content, and then we also have at the end, once you go through the content for each of the skill tracks, we've built in some additional layering for AI simulations, which will give you an opportunity to practice those skills in real time. This is giving you the psychological safety that you need to be able to facilitate difficult conversations, practice difficult scenarios without worrying about saying the wrong thing or making a mistake and, being fearful that you're going to offend somebody or you're going to do something wrong that's going to cause problems for your organization. There's none of that because it's a live practice environment. You get feedback in real time, and then you can literally just hit the restart button and do it again, applying that feedback immediately. So it allows you to really hone and refine. The tool is fabulous. It's really, really cool. You can even play with different learning styles when it comes to like the attitude that the person you're speaking to is going to have, whether they're, defensive or agreeable or whatever the case may be. And you can even randomize it. That's one of my favorite things because in real life, you don't know how somebody's going to respond when you're having a difficult conversation. So it really allows you to get a more realistic kind of flavor when you're going through the tool. So that's a really cool element that you'll be able to utilize. And then we've also have study tools built in for you as well. So we'll show a little bit more of that once we get into the actual platform. But we wanted to have some really cool materials to go along with this. So we've built a full program guide that goes along with this. And we've also incorporated some additional tools within the journeys themselves for you. So after you get through that portion, then you'll move into the reassessment. So we have also incorporated the skill benchmarks that you would have taken at the beginning of the journey for each of those skills. We're going to have you go through them again. This is going to allow you to assess your skill level against your baseline so that you can see where you've grown on these particular skills. So this is where you're going to be able to see measurable growth. And then we will move into reflections and actions to implement. And what that means is that's our program support guide. So we have journal prompts and we have HR scenarios, we have actions that you can implement. Obviously, that's optional, but we wanted to elevate the program and the solution with something tangible that you can take away and actually reflect on what you've learned along the way. So there will be reflections as you're going through the journey, and then we'll have some reflections at the end, so you can kind of look back on some of your answers and see, you know, now that I've learned all of this great stuff, would I do anything differently? So that's the framework that you can expect to see with our program. And we'll dig a little bit deeper here. So this gives you a sense of the structure. So I gave you a clean understanding of what the structure of the program itself looks like. However, there are some elements outside of the Percipio Learning Experience platform as well, and that's what we'll cover here. So we did design this to be kind of like a 12-month program structure. That being said, it is entirely flexible, so you can do it at your own pace. However, in our program workbook, we do have a suggested plan that, you know, gives you some recommended timeframes for like weekly learning to make sure that at a minimum you complete that much over the course of the 12 months so that you can achieve your certificate within that 12-month period. That being said, you are more than welcome to go faster. You know, it's entirely up to you. This is your journey and whatever makes the most sense for you. But to start things off, you will have program admission. So this is where you get kind of like your onboarding. You get your information, you get your login credentials, you get the workbook, all of that kind of stuff. And you will also get your invitation to our Future Ready HR network, which is a private community that we've stood up specifically for people that are our pilot testers, our current students, or, you know, graduates, all to be able to collaborate and network and share and discuss. And then you'll go into just kind of like pre-program activities. This is really basic, just getting logged in, getting, you know, clear on the navigation of the platform, looking at your participants guide and reviewing, making plans, hopefully scheduling your learning time in the platform, which you can do either on the web version or on your mobile phone. And then you'll move into the virtual kickoff. So we have structured in a couple of social components to this. So I mentioned the Future Ready HR network. That's like a, you know, community space that you can collaborate and chat with other people and network. But we also have embedded a couple of sessions that we will have live. So we'll have a virtual kickoff just to introduce you to the program. Maybe, you know, incorporate a little Q&A. We'll do like a demo of the environment, just get you in there and see if there's any questions. And then we will also have your program introduction. So this is an element within the program that's before all of the skill journeys based off of Gina's framework. So that's where you're going to find some just very basic stuff. We have an intro video from Gina welcoming you to the program. There's a little achievement guide in there just to walk you through what you need to know about how to utilize the digital badges that you're going to earn along the way for the courses, the tracks, and the journeys, as well as the actual certificate. So you'll be able to leverage that along with your program guide. So all of those things are available for you in that program introduction. And then you'll move into your learning journeys. So you'll do those one by one. They are sequenced in the order that Gina has explained them, so you can expect to follow that same flow. And then once you have completed all of your learning journeys, you'll move into the virtual graduation. And that's really where we have an acknowledgement and a celebration of your success. This is a big program. You're becoming future ready and future proof, just like Gina said. And, you know, this is a lot. So we want to make sure that we celebrate you for the work that you've put in and for participating in this program, and give you an opportunity to share what you've learned, share any insights, any successes, wins, feedback, etc. So this is what you can expect for the overall experience of the program. Let's dive forward into a little demo. I'm really excited to show you what this looks like in real time. So give me just a quick second. All right, here we go. So this is our Percipio Learner Experience platform. So as you can see here, I am enrolled in the Future Ready Skills for HR Professionals Learning Program. So this is populated on my page. You have the opportunity to access it here, or you can see it over here in the little admin menu as well, or the navigation menu. So it's under My Learning and Programs. So if we click here, it's going to take me into the main program page here. So just like I was just explaining, we have our introduction, we have our technical and digital skills, we have our human power skills, and we have higher cognitive. So I'll just pop in here real quick just so you can kind of get a flow of what the journeys are going to look like, and then we'll pop into our technical journey. So this one here, like I said, just a couple of quick little items. There's the video, the workbook, the user guide, and I did also include a Percipio scavenger hunt. So if you're watching from Skillsoft, you probably are familiar with that. I built that when I worked at Skillsoft. And so this is a really cool tool that allows you to help navigate the platform. So I built that really because learners often get a demo of the Percipio experience, and then they walk away, they get back to their day-to-day, and they forget everything that they heard. So this tool really allows you to get more of that muscle memory, because it's going to prompt you to click through different sections of the platform that are going to be important. So it actually forces you to click through, to browse, to look around, and then you've done it before. So you're more likely to remember what you need to know in terms of navigation moving forward than if you were to just sit through a demo. So all of these are available for you as an introduction to the program. And we'll pop right back in here and go into the technical and digital skills here. So this is the journey experience for each of the skill tracks. I'm only going to go into one because they're all built exactly the same way. So once you've seen the first one, you've seen the other two. But this is what you can expect here. We have a little before you begin section. This just has a little description in terms of the structure and what to expect for clarity. We've also embedded the worksheets for that particular journey. All of those are available as part of the program workbook. It's like 60 pages long. However, just for ease and simplicity, I did break out the specific journey pieces and populate them here as well, just for quick and easy access. You'll be able to track your progress up here. And once you've completed the journey, you'll see that you have your badge and your certificate populate here as well for download. So this is our course syllabus, or our track syllabus. You can see each of the skills that Gina has mentioned are laid out here. So we have digital fluency, data analytics, business and financial acumen, and then as I shared, we have our practice and assess. So I'll pop into the first one here just so you can get a sense for what the tracks look like. So as I shared before, we're going to start with your skill benchmark, get your baseline, and then you're going to move into your learning. We've layered courses in here, and you will find that some videos are in here as well. And the reason for that is A, we want it multimodal. We wanted, a positive experience for people. And B, we really want this to be focused and honed in on what's most important. So we didn't want you sitting through, an hour-long course on information security that may or may not be relevant to your role. So what we've done is cherry pick specific videos from certain courses that may not have been fully relevant to the role. And we've picked out the videos that we thought were most important with the most important information. So you will occasionally find some videos in here as well, along with the courses, and some book summaries or audio summaries for some reading material in here as well. And that is what each of the tracks are going to look like. It's, the benchmark and then the content. And then once you move through each of those skills, you will come to your practice and assess track. And this is where you'll find the AI simulations so that you can practice those skills in real time. And then you'll have your reassessment so that you're able to get that measurable skill gain. And we have a progress tracker as well in the workbook so that you can keep track of your before score and your after score. I'll scoot back here, and just in case you didn't notice, there's that little breadcrumb trail at the top. So when you're done with one track, you just click back and you'll be able to go into the next. I just want to show a couple of additional things here at the bottom. So you'll notice I do want to highlight these are optional. So this part here is not a required element of the program. This is an addition. So we wanted to provide you with some additional materials that you can use for practical application should you want them. So there's some skill briefs in here, some job aids, and different tools that you could potentially leverage on some of the subjects that would be addressed in that particular track or journey. So those are going to be available here for you in each of these different journeys, along with a digital bookshelf. So the really cool thing about this program is you actually get access to thousands of additional resources outside of the program as well. So we have constructed a little digital bookshelf comprised of reading materials that are covering topics that are in this particular journey and potentially relevant to the HR space. So the top 15 books that are aligned will be featured here, so that if you're the kind of person that you like to do a little bit of light reading, you'll find those additional materials down at the bottom. Again, these are not required as part of the program. You do not have to take any of these. These are just additional materials for you if you should want them. So I'm just going to go back here. This is the Future Ready Skills program. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with all of you. And I did want to quickly point out as well. So I mentioned that when you jump into the Future Ready Skills program, you also get access to thousands of other resources as well. So I just wanted to poke over here real quick so you can kind of see. This includes topics across business and leadership and AI and technology and project management and all of the things. So there's tons and tons of materials here. So should you be one of those people that you plow through your certification and you get it done really quick, and you want to, continue your learning, you have this program and you have this access for 12 months. So you have the ability to go in and peruse any of this other material as well. Or, if there's something that you really need, like, immediately, that will be available for you as well, including some certification material. There's support for over 100 different certifications in here, for certification prep, for recertification, etc., along with skill and role-based journeys. So this program and the offer is super comprehensive, and we're really, really proud of everything that we've built, and we hope you are too. So at this point, I am going to flip back to our slides here, and I am going to hand it over to Jill.
Thanks, Jess. Awesome job. Jessica is truly my secret weapon. When I was thinking about bringing this program to life and becoming a Canadian reseller of Percipio, I was connected to her, and it's truly amazing what she's done in terms of putting the blueprint together as well for the Future Ready Skills. This is our first program, so it's going to be a series of Future Ready Skills. The next one's going to be Leaders, and we won't tell you the next one because it's a secret. But anyway, so Jessica, thank you for curating all of this, bringing it to life. She led our pilot session. We use that feedback to curate what she just showed you there. So that's our live program that if you join the program, you will get access to, and all of those other additional things as well. So the special offer, so when you signed up for this session, we actually said that there would be a bonus. So if you're joining us live right now, we are going to also give you a special bonus offer. And here it is. So with this program, we have reviewed that it's 12 months long, and it really does cover everything that Jessica showed you. It's on the retail price for it in Canadian dollars is $16.97. So what we're giving you today as a bonus, and you can go to the next slide there, Sue. We're live, so I have to help her there. What you get is with that. So what we've done is we've combined two of Skillsoft's most exceptional collections, right? So we've combined them in the background. One of them is what we sell as well to organizations and individuals, which is called the Pro Kit. So this is the one with all the bells and whistles and all the features. And that's truly what is making this program cutting edge with AI tools and skill benchmarks and a whole bunch of other things in there, including an AI advisor. But bringing all that to life with the Pro Kit, which is a $14.75 price for retail. And then also as a skill collection that we sell either individually or as an add-on to a kit, we've also included with that, which is called SLDP. So that's the Skillsoft Leadership collection, and this is the advanced collection. So if you buy one of our kits, and that really has a really good broad reach of topics, including business, leadership, tech and dev, and productivity skills, and leadership. But if you really want to advance your skill level, you buy the Senior Leadership Development collection. So that is what that is all about. So that's individually price tagged at $275. We're just giving you some of the value that's behind all of this. So we've got the 2 collections, the price of the retail program, and then next slide, please. This is the bonus. So because you showed up, during your busy day, it's Tuesday, and I know it's probably, a busy day for everyone. And we're really grateful that you joined us, because it's our first live event. And as I said, we are adding to this, which is worth $150, which is a coaching workshop. So Jessica, on top of being the secret weapon and knowing how to curate and do, instructional design and can do kickstands with Percipio, basically. She also is a certified coach. So what she's going to be doing is inviting you at no charge, of course, to one of these sessions. So if you're feeling kind of lost, disabled, or not understanding, how AI and the era of AI is going to impact you in your role, HR, she's going to help you during the session. She can talk more to this than I can, but it's all about neurological and your brain and how every human sort of reacts to change. So some of us are fine and embrace it well, and others have different ways of, working through it. So we wanted to also offer this to you, because that's the human side of what we're doing at Modern Minds, is really, making it stick by having that community and bringing that together as well. So that's your bonus. I know we put that in the invite, so I wanted to make sure that I included that as well. And next, for a limited time offer, I'm not sure if you're following us on social media. We have our LinkedIn group. On LinkedIn, we have a company page. We've been promoting, if you sign up for this program, for our Quench Your Thirst for Skills for Summer. So it's called Quench Your Thirst for Skills this summer. And what we're doing with that is, because it's summertime and we want to get the community built. So we think, the glue to bringing this to life and to really start our HR network is having lots of you as professionals in there. So we're giving a discount of $700 off the retail price. And in addition to all of those other things, and the, it's called an irresistible offer. And we want to make sure that you understood what you're getting. The retail price, total retail price, is actually $4,000, over $4,000. So if you sign up before June 30th, you'll get that special event sale at $9.97 Canadian. So we wanted to add that in to make sure that we were committed to providing a bonus for you attending our first session today. Okay, so now we have question time. It's great. We've been really good on timing. The team has been very, very good. It's only 12:44, so we have a little time left. If you want to stick around, or you have questions for us, we'd love to hear from you. And because it's live, we don't really have a chat per se. So what we wanted to do is respond to some of the questions that we're getting at Modern Minds about the program. And I'm not sure who wants to lead this part, but Jessica, you know the questions, and we had a few questions that, we had for Gina. So I'm not sure which one we want to start with. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So when it comes to the time commitment, I think I talked a little bit about that in my session. This is really meant to be flexible. We're not going to tell you have to do so many hours in a month or in a week, or any of that kind of stuff. We want this to be flexible and to meet you where you are and what you have the capacity for. That being said, it is 12 months of access.
Jess, I think maybe someone's got feedback going on. There we go. Something's going feedback.
Okay, I don't hear anything.
Dance. It's a live session, so please mute your phone if you're not talking. Maybe it's something to do with the audience. I'm not quite sure, but there's a little high-pitched noise. If you can hear that, Gina, I think you could. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah. No,
Good.
it's still going, but
Okay. So yeah, we're not going to give you very strict guidelines. However, we did include in our participants guide some recommendations. So I would say a minimum of maybe 2 to 3 hours per week for the learning content, your reflections, and your program guide, etc. So about 7 to 8 hours per month on average. That being said, if summer months you were not willing to do learning and you want to focus on being out in the sun, at the beach, whatever, I get it. If you want to do a little more in the winter months and save the summer for not learning, that's entirely up to you. If you're the opposite and you like to use the summer months for learning and you want to pack that in there and then the rest of the year take it a little bit slower, that's entirely up to you. You have 12 months, so this is flexible. We're just going to give you some recommendations to make sure that you're able to stay on track to complete it within the allotted time.
can you just go on mute for a sec, Jess? I'm not sure if it's you. And questions coming in here. So it's not, I don't hear it now, but let's see. Okay, yeah, it was when Jessica was talking. Sorry, Jessica. So there's a little feedback coming in. I'm not sure. It just started. So it wasn't happening previously when you're doing the tour and everything. So we'll just take it from there. There was some questions that we did want to ask, and they were related to the community piece. And we wanted to really talk about the reasoning behind adding the community. So when we did have the beta version of this program ready, our feedback from our pilot was actually that, they felt a bit lonely. We did have check-in points, but not everybody could make them. Let's face it, life is busy. But they said that if there was some sort of additional community piece that they could, meet others, and if they were struggling or they had things that they wanted to share and things like that, it would be nice to have a community. So we listened and we responded and we've added that. And I know that with everything Gina and her company is doing, they're doing a lot of that as well. So Gina, I'll hand that over to you next. Oh, you gotta go off your mute.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jill. As I was mentioning earlier, that focus on being able to learn and connect together makes real difference in terms of how people learn, the effectiveness of being able to actually develop skills in action and be able to move forward. And so with Atheon, we've been very deliberate about being able to create a community at the heart of everything that we're doing. And that includes the ability to be able to support each other, to be able to learn directly from experts. We have a number of thought leaders, and we're finding that ability to just have unbarriered access to the people who you really need around you to help you be successful has made such a difference. And we're finding that the ability to have communities of practice, communities of interest, communities of learning, communities associated with organizations, that ability to connect with your people, in sort of air quotes, is so important because it's what helps you be successful in the days that you're feeling great about your journey, in the days that you need some help along the way, and even if you're just trying to get unstuck and look for a mentor to be able to help you move forward. That focus on human connection within a technical space is proving really valuable. So, that's a thing that we're really focused on. And that's why we've actually made our core community free. So we just believe so strongly in that. And layer on to that, the ability to build skills through programs like what Jill and Jessica shared, the ability to be able to actually challenge yourself with skills in action together. These sorts of things, we talk a lot about them when it comes to learning and development, but so often, in traditional learning, you end up in a place where you go through a program, you have, the binder you put on the shelf and you never think about again. That's not what's going to set us up for success in the future. We need to be able to really build skills, really apply them, and really solve problems. So that's our jam from an Atheon perspective, and I know that it's something that's shared, philosophically and in practice with Jill and Jessica. And it's just my goal is to help every single person get ready for the future, and so that's the same with my partners, and that's what we're really looking for all of you, is to help you be ready. And one little point is food for thought. CHROs at the head of HR organizations, the expectations from them for their skills have increased 23% in just 5 years. That's unique skills. And so imagine the impact that's happening at every level in the HR organization. This is your chance to get ready and to get out ahead and to learn together. So I encourage you all to do that.
Great. Thank you, Gina. I've always just loved how you're presenting and bringing all of this great stuff to life. That was why the top 12 skills I felt I needed to bring into a program like this to help people like you really narrow it down and figure out where you needed to focus your efforts on learning and not make it daunting. I know there's a lot of noise out there with which skills and what have you. And I thought, well, if we can bring this to life on Percipio and use all those bells and whistles and cutting edge stuff, that would sort of elevate you and allow you also to meet one another and get you through this, era of disruption. So yeah, great. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
We had another question. I think it was about timing, but I think Jessica has covered that. Are there any other questions, Jess, that we're getting that's in that? We have a lot of questions that we've gotten from people that are reaching out to sign up for the program. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know that there was one specifically about the HR certification.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to that, Jessica?
Yeah, so one of the questions was, is this program recognized by the industry or aligned with SHRM or HRCI? So the answer to that is yes and no. It is aligned in the sense that there are courses within our program that constitute qualification for PEDUs or CPE credits. So if you already have an existing certification, then there are definitely courses within this program that will allow you to earn credits against those certifications. That being said, when it comes to actually having this be a recognized HRCI specific certification, that is a different thing. So this is a Modern Mind signature program, so it is not necessarily aligned directly with the accrediting bodies within HR. That being said, like I said, many of the courses within do qualify for credit hours, so you will be able to utilize those as professional development credits.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I don't know, did you want me to cover off the timing again? If the feedback was a problem before? I put my AirPods in this time, so we should be good.
Yeah, I think just quickly, over the years I've been in learning and development and what have you, time was always, such an obstacle for people. Although we would even get executive sponsorship and commitment, things happen, and time is always a bit difficult. So I think it is very important for people to map out, if they're signing up for the program today, and what that means and how they're going to be, kicked off at the cohort and what have you, and how they can manage their time to make sure that it's completed.
Yeah, so as we covered today, the program, we do intend for it to be a 12-month container, just because we recognize there is a lot of content there between the actual course material, the different assessments, and all of the things that are built within the learning experience platform itself. But then on top of that, there's the reflections and things, which if you're doing it well, and you're the kind of person that you like to be intentional with that stuff, then it can take some time. So we're recommending a minimum of 2 hours a week, so up to maybe 8 hours per month, depending on how much time you're wanting to spend. That being said, like I said before, if you could hear me, great. If not, I'll say it again. If you want to spend more time in the winter months because you really want to focus on enjoying your summers and getting out in the sun, then that's fine. If you want to plug in more learning throughout the other months, or if you're, kind of the opposite, you like to spend more time learning in the summer months, maybe things are a little slower then for you, then, that's fine too. I would just be mindful as you go of the time that you have. This is a 12-month container, a 12-month access. So we do have some recommendations in your program workbook for scheduling out your learning time, just to make sure that you stay on track to complete it within the allotted time frame. That being said, it is flexible. So if you want to move through it faster or a little bit slower at certain periods when things get really crazy and busy, then that's your prerogative. We're not going to force you. We're not going to say you have to do this much in this particular month. We want this to be flexible and to fit into your life the way that it works for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful that Gina and Jessica, that we've worked together and, had the opportunity to launch this program. I am so grateful to have both of you as my partners and helping to continually, future-proof and help everyone along the way with their learning and development. If there's other questions we haven't addressed yet, we will follow up and send them to you and answer them. And Gina, do you have any closing thoughts or anything else we may have not included that you're thinking about as our future of work skills strategist? All things awesome.
Oh, thank you, Joe. It's such a pleasure working with you and Jessica. And I think the biggest message that I would want to reinforce is that this is your time. You have the ability to be able to start to build today what you will need to get through the next, 1, 2, 5, 10 years. What you're doing is you're building the Lego blocks that you need to be ready for the challenges that you've got in work today, what you'll need as new jobs are emerging, and what you need to be able to chart a path for your career based on what you are aspiring to achieve. So you're in control. Build those Lego blocks today and find ways to put them together that will set you apart. Take this opportunity to jump in and build your skills and really, focus on being curious and learning at least one new thing every day. That will keep you in a place where you're moving forward. So of course, jump into key programs and actually look for ways to challenge yourself to keep learning all the time, because that will set you apart.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Gina.
Thanks so much to both of you. And thank you all for joining today.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.